From your Revere TV studio on Broadway, it's the Revere Review.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Revere Review. I'm Ed DeVoe.
And I'm Debbie Pesca.
Well, after 2 years of a hard-fought battle, residents of Revere, Chelsea, and surrounding communities can breathe a huge sigh of relief. Global Petroleum last week announced that they are withdrawing their application to bring in 180 million gallons of ethanol per year to the Revere terminal facility. The news is being hailed as one of the largest grassroots victories in decades, a real-life, modern-day David versus Goliath story. Leading the fight to stop the ethanol trains were Roseanne Bongiovanni of Chelsea, Ed O'Hara of Revere, Gail Miller from East Boston, and environmental defense attorney Stacy Rubin. 2 years ago, when they were told that it was a done deal and that there was nothing that could be done to stop the trains from coming, they didn't lie down. They kept going, organizing public hearings and working with the area's State House delegation to pursue legislative means to derail the proposal and save their communities from a risk they all felt was far greater than any community should bear. The breakthrough came when State Senators Anthony Petroselli and Sal DiDomenico got creative, rewriting the Chapter 91 regulations within the state budget and effectively blocking federal railroad statutes and Global Petroleum's efforts to obtain the license it needed to operate the facility. At that point, Global decided they had enough and bowed to the wishes of the communities. In his conversation with the Revere Journal, Global spokesman Ed Fanuel said, "We're thankful to the communities of the Commonwealth for their input during this process. We want to look forward to serving the energy needs of the community, of the Commonwealth on an ongoing basis." He went on to further state that Global had no hard feelings and that everyone involved conducted themselves professionally. In the end, it was a prime example of communities rising up to meet a threat and the community's elected representatives truly working on their behalf to right what could have been a terrible wrong. A great example of how democracy should work. Now, if we could just export some of that to Washington.
Absolutely. They did a great job.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Great story.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the budget, the Revere City Council has approved the fiscal year 2014 budget. With Councilors Ira Novoselsky and Charlie Patch not in attendance, Councilor Jessica Giannino ran the meeting. The council allowed Mayor Dan Rizzo to access $1.5 million of the stabilization fund monies in order to shore up any discrepancies in this year's city budget. Facing major opposition to using the monies, Mayor Rizzo told the council that he may not need the entire $1.5 million, but he may need some portion to help balance the budget. In order to help us, what we would like to have is authorization for up to $1.5 million from the stabilization fund, said the mayor at the June 27th meeting. We would like to know for sure, prior to our conference call with Moody's, that we have the ability to balance the budget. We can't balance our budget unless we get a favorable vote to take from the stabilization fund. In the spirit of cooperation, I would ask the council to go forward with the vote. If I can't get this vote, I will have to cut an additional $1.5 million from the budget. Early on, it looked like the mayor's request might not have the 8 votes needed to approve the use of the funds. Several councilors indicated they were not in favor of the move. Councilor Brian Arrigo was opposed to using the stabilization fund monies and expressed his concern over using the money to balance the budget. Councilor Bob Haas had indicated that he had concerns. But in the end, the vote was 8-1, just enough to pass with only Arrigo voting against. The final budget totals at $153,595,982, and the original was proposed at $154,060,170. So till next year, the budget was approved.
There you go.
Action.
Recently, City Councilors John Correggio and Bob Haas requested an economic development meeting to be held to update the City Council on development activities and in particular the Waterfront Square Development Project. Councilors Correggio and Haas had expressed frustration at not receiving regular updates from the Economic Development Director and having to get their information from other sources such as the Boston Globe and the Revere Journal. They and others had also expressed concerns about the status of promises made regarding the use of union labor on the development projects. On July 8th, they got their wish. Primary developer Joe DeGangi was present along with the Economic Development Director John Festa to meet with the Economic Development Subcommittee to answer their questions. First up to the podium was DeGangi, who said he sold the parcel to Covington only after he exhausted all avenues to get funding. He went on to say that Covington is not obligated to use union labor, but said that they would if it was economically feasible. This did not sit well with a number of the councilors and union representatives who were present at the meeting. The councilors asked Mr. DeGangi to contact Covington to request that they meet with the subcommittee to answer questions about their plans to build and their plans for the use of union labor. He said that he would, and a tentative meeting has been set up for July 22nd when Covington representatives will be in town.
Also discussed were concerns voiced by councilors regarding the number of residential units planned for the whole waterfront square project. Mr. DeGangi, in his comments to the subcommittee, noted that the original plan was for approximately 900 units. Councilors expressed concerns regarding the additional schools that would be required to support the number of children that could reside in these units and asked if these unit numbers could be reduced. John Festa, in his remarks, said that he and the mayor are doing everything they can to foster commercial use of the space to reduce the residential impact to the city. Finally, in his remarks, Festa stated that he's always been and will continue to be available to any council who has questions about the various economic development projects that are either planned or underway within the city. If the subcommittee wants to meet weekly, monthly, whatever, I will make myself available, he said.
Yeah. In the end, everyone went away somewhat satisfied that they got to have their meeting and that more are planned in the future.
And now we go to poker machines. On June 25th, 7 Revere private clubs and public bars faced hearing at the state's Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission for various illegal gambling allegations that involved the use of poker machines. The hearings came after a sting in April where all 7 establishments were raided by the ABCC enforcement investigators and were alleged to have violated the state's gaming laws by permitting illegal gambling on automatic amusement devices or poker machines. These establishments called for hearings. The established call for hearings were the Revere Elks, Bill Ash's Lounge, the Patriot Civics Club, American Legion Post 61, the Moose Club, Beachmont VFW, and the Speakeasy Pub. Of those cited, it appeared that the Moose Club and the Beachmont VFW faced the most serious allegations. The Beachmont VFW, the Revere Elks, and the Speakeasy requested continuances of their hearings, and the ABCC granted that extra time to them. Their hearings will be held at a future date. However, Bill Ash's, the Patriot Civics Club, the American Legion Post, and the Moose Club did engage in hearings before the board on the June 25th meeting, but there were no immediate findings. The ABCC has taken all the testimony from the hearings and will deliberate and develop official findings over the next few months, and we will report those findings when we have them.
Day summer afternoon on a beach he loved and memorialized so much in his paintings, friends and family, led by a delegation of city and state officials, conducted a commemoration ceremony to dedicate 2 Revere Beach pavilions in the name of Norman Gautreaux. One by one, each of the speakers talked about Norman's love for the beach and the city of Revere. They told stories about the many paintings he had done in his lifetime and how one in particular actually hangs in the Vatican. They spoke about his love for his wife and she for him, and how they very seldom ever were seen without each other. Everyone at the ceremony, almost to a person, spoke about the wonderful memories that came back every time they saw one of his Revere Beach-themed paintings. The carousel, the cyclone, the seaplane flying overhead, and the blizzard of '78 painting with snow piled up high on the boulevard. The dedication of the pavilions located at Revere Street end of the beach was the second dedication to take place in the past month. A few weeks ago, Norman's good friend and Revere Beach historian Peter McCauley was also honored by having 2 pavilions located near the recently completed Markey Footbridge named after him. A fitting tribute to 2 great men who have done so much to ensure the memories of Revere Beach are preserved and passed on for years to come.
Well, the Revere Recreation Director, Michael Hinojosa, kicked off those summer programs for kids on June 27th with the movie On Revere Beach at the Bandstand. Hinojosa said they will be offering theater Thursdays or free family movies on the beach every Thursday night, but will alternate between the bandstand and Kelly's Roast Beef. Some special events this year, well, the 4th of July celebration at Hill Park and Celebrate Revere will now be combined with the National Sand Sculpting Festival on Revere Beach. Instead of having Celebrate Revere in August, it will be on the last day, Sunday, of the festival. The city really can't afford to spend money on 2 sets of fireworks, and it was easier for us to have it on the last day of sand sculpting. And have a great day, he said. It was something we thought sand sculpting was missing. One new event this year will be BMX Day at Hill Park on August 10th. The Northeast Trick Stars will perform 3 shows, and there will be a gigantic cookout and a bike decorating contest. The event will also feature a bike exchange where residents can bring in a usable old bike to be given away to a needy family.
And action.
And another special event will be the new Revere Field Day, which will feature a unique competition between several city employee departments for the inaugural Revere Cup to be held on August 17th. Mike Hinojosa said, "I have commitments from the Revere Police, Revere Fire Department, the DPW, and the Revere School Department so far, who will compete in 6 events. The winner will be crowned the Revere Cup champion, and it'll be a great way to end our summer program. Included in the field day will also be a competition for kids with a winner from each grade level and age group being crowned. It will finish up with an evening meal and a movie at 8 p.m. Other events planned include field trips on Fridays to Six Flags, Salem, and the Liquid Water Park. Sunday night concerts and concerts on the American Legion lawn, Friday night Lights Drop-In Basketball League at Hill Park with the Police Athletic League, and much, much more."
For information and a detailed schedule, stop by the Revere Rec Department on Beach Street. And how about that Revere Cup? Maybe we can get Revere TV.
Maybe we get Revere TV to put together a team. Yeah, you're right, exactly. It sounds like a great program with a lot going on.
It does.
Yeah. And recently, Mayor Dan Rizzo announced that he has appointed Stephen Fielding to become the new Senior Center Director, taking the reins from Al Morelli Jr., who will retire after 35 years of managing the senior program. Mr. Fielding is currently a volunteer for the East Boston Salesian Boys Club, has been very involved in the St. Mary's Parish programs, and was a key member of Mayor Rizzo's campaign. In his comments, Mayor Rizzo noted that the senior center population has been growing disenchanted and have started to explore programs in other communities. The mayor further stated that he expects the new director to bring a lot of enthusiasm and vitality to the job. Mr. Fielding will take over on July 1st and will be working with the outgoing director during the next 6 months in a transition until his retirement in January of 2014.
And speaking of transition, have you heard that the mayor is moving? Well, he is, to the 2nd floor of City Hall. Rizzo said this week that he plans to build out and convert the remaining vacant area in the 2nd floor auditorium into a more appealing office for the mayor. He and his staff will all move to the 2nd floor. Rizzo said the current office is just not nice enough or spacious enough. "I'm not trying to impress anybody, but I guess I'm looking to have something the city can be proud of when you are bringing in new developers or officials from other cities. You don't want to bring them into a place that resembles a dungeon." He said the decision was made more than a year ago and has been bogged down by the need for bidding the project out and hiring architects. The overall design is still being worked on, and so the cost has not been cemented. In addition to moving the mayor's office, Rizzo said that he plans on moving the economic development office to his old office and using the current foyer in the mayor's office where the secretaries sit as a lunch/break room for the City Hall workers. The project is expected to begin taking shape later in the year. This week I had the pleasure of interviewing Doreen DiRienzo from the Revere Karate Academy for an upcoming focus on Revere. Revere will be hosting an International Karate Championship the weekend of August 1st to the 3rd, and we would like to show you a little bit of that interview. Hello, and welcome to Focus on Revere. I'm Debbie Pesca, and I'm here with Doreen DiRienzo. Hi, Doreen.
Hello.
Doreen's here from Revere, the Revere Karate Academy. And Doreen, I can't remember ever not seeing Revere Karate Academy on Broadway, Revere. Tell us how long has it been there in existence?
We're in our 34th year. February will be 34 years.
Wow.
during the time, we've probably taught nearly 30,000 students. Wow. You know, it's amazing. You know, I see people, they'll come up to me and they'll say, "Hello, Mrs. C," and I'll look up and it'll be some kid that I taught in the 80s or and it's just amazing. It's really
been there
amazing
a real long time.
And for me, it just has gone by in the blink of an eye.
I know.
It doesn't feel like that. It has not ever felt old to me. I still love it. I still love teaching martial arts. I still love teaching
Well, tell me a
Kempo
little bit
karate.
about yourself. How did you start out at Revere Karate? Well, a little bit about yourself. Let's start there.
I took my first karate lesson for not the typical things, you know, most people do for self-defense or to get in shape or build confidence. Mine was because of shin splints. I played basketball actually on the very first team Revere High School ever had, and my legs were aching, and I was told it was shin splints. So I thought the next season, if I do something over the summer and stay in good shape, that would help me. But when I took my first lesson, it's a very difficult thing to explain, but something awakened inside my heart and my soul. I couldn't get there enough. I couldn't practice enough. I just loved doing it. And it was around the corner from my house. There was a man named John D. He taught Kempo karate in the Whalen School gym.
Really?
And that's really where I started off. And like I said, it's I once did an interview and somebody said, well, I guess it's like I signed up for the summer, but it turned out to be an endless summer.
Oh, really,
you know,
really?
Because now for me it's 40 years. You know, I'm in my 41st year of martial arts,
Wow.
and I've never stopped. I mean, I've taken a little break, you know, a couple times when I was pregnant, you know, but other than that, I've never stopped training and learning and progressing and trying to better myself even as a martial artist.
So then you started Revere Karate Academy.
Yep, I started it in 1980. I was married at the time. My ex-husband and I started it together.
Mm-hmm.
He went off and had a school in Saugus for a bit, and I stayed here in Revere. And I've, you know, like I said, I never left. I've always there, and it never gets old. Like I said, you know, I really enjoy it. It's like, it's a thing where, you know, people think it's like about, you know, everyone was kung fu fighting, and you know, it really, you know, I get to participate on a daily basis in watching people get better, you know, really get better. Whether it's a little kid who had no confidence to let go of their mom's hand, or watching someone like, you know, my adult students become more confident, more competent, more just better at what they want to be better at. And they use martial arts as that vehicle to do that. And it's just a really amazing feeling for me to be given the privilege and the honor to be their guide through that process. It's just an incredible thing.
And I'm going off course a little bit from Revere Karate, but I know that you're teaching at the high school as well.
I do. I teach health at Revere High School, and besides martial arts, my other passion in life is about health. And again, I absolutely love it. I love the kids. I love working, you know, and seeing their faces, you know, when they learn about how to stay healthy and how to be better. And it's just a great feeling, you know, like I'm so blessed that I get to do not just one job, but two jobs every day that I absolutely love. Working with people, teaching, and helping them to grow and learn, and it's just, it's for me, it lights up my soul.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. No, you look great. You seem happy,
Yeah,
and
I
I said
am.
that to you when you walked in. You look great. You
Thank
know,
you.
I've known you a long time, and
Yeah.
you look great. And
Thank you.
and you're in your karate and your black belt. So tell me, I know you're very humble about this, but tell me how far you've come in your karate.
Well, currently I'm at what's called 9th degree black belt in Ed Parker's Kempo Karate, and right now I am the highest ranked Kempo female worldwide. I've you know, I just said I won that honor just because I stuck around, but it is quite a thing. You know, when I look sometimes at, like, I was recently profiled in this book called The International Journey, and it was all men and me. And I looked at the picture of all of us together, and I said, wow, I said, I think I know who the toughest person in that room is. I think it's me, because I had to, you know, kind of fend myself with all the men, a male-dominated, you know,
Absolutely.
sport, and it just, you know, pretty incredible. And for the life of me, you know, I don't know why I didn't become a hairdresser or, you know, something like that. And believe me, I love my hairdresser. So it's like, you know, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean, just I don't know what compelled me, except, like I said, that very first lesson, something awakened inside my soul, and I knew that I was doing something that was real and right for me.
No, it sounds like a love and a passion.
it
It
is.
has to be
It
to
has
go
to be.
that far
Yeah.
in, like you said, a male dominant. I just never, you just amaze me. In all men, the only woman.
And you know, honestly, I never set out to amaze anybody. I never set out to, you know, say, oh, impress anybody. I just kept doing what I loved every day. And if that's amazing, that's great, but it's really not my reason for doing it. You know, it's like I feel that everybody's amazing in their own way. I mean, you know, if you're a mom, you know, and you have to get up every day and take care of your child, and you do that with love and passion, that's amazing. It's no easy thing. Of all the things I've ever done in my life, being a parent is the single hardest thing I've ever done. You never finish. And my kids are older now, and I still think about them, worry about them, try to be there for them still every day. Same way my mom and dad are with me. I told my mother I was going to go sit by the pool. She says, "Don't sit out too long." You know, like you never outgrow
That job
that.
never ends.
It never ends.
That
So
job never
that
ends.
to me is amazing. You know, being able to do that, and it's like.
Well, welcome back, and it looks like that karate championship is going to be quite the thing. Huh?
Yes, we'll be showing that Focus on Revere, I believe, either June 22nd or June 29th. So you really should watch it. It's a great interview with Doreen. She was really a pleasure to interview, and that karate championship will be held at Revere High, and it really, people coming from all over the world.
Yeah, once again, a great way to showcase Revere. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Well, that does it for us for now. We'll be taking the rest of the summer off, and we'll see you again in September. So have a great summer, and
Take care.